Welcome to my second video on my YouTube account, and in today's video I will give you like a little case study breakdown where I show you how I set up my ad account, so how I test the ads and how I scale those. So I was able to generate 50k in 3 days. So I will show you like the exact structure that I use so you can just replicate it. So just to ensure all of you remember the case study, it's in the first ever video. It was a case study where I did close to 50k in 3 days. So as you can see here, at the 2nd February there was nothing on the store, it was 0 sales, nothing, and 1 day later we were still at 0, and as you can see, it was close to like 7 p.m. when I started like to set up the store and everything. It took me like around 5 hours, a little bit earlier I was done, and now as you can see like around like 12 I wasn't like online anymore on the 4th, so literally I was done here, you know, so even less than 5 hours I was finished the whole website. And now in the first testing day I was able to scale to $2,300. And something that you might notice is that we have a little bit of traffic like at around like 12, like 14, and then the biggest traffic that we have was like from 8 p.m. and upwards. So how was I able to do this? So on the first testing day, I'll walk you through this process later in the video. So I will show you how I am able to scale to numbers like 2k in the first testing day. Because normally if you check videos online, a lot of people teach you that you need to go slow. But this is something you cannot replicate to TikTok. And for all of you guys which are on Meta ads at the moment, you can't do the same because Meta and TikTok has a big difference. But if you're on TikTok, you can just replicate the 101 structure of mine, and when you find a good winning product, you could easily scale this to up to 10, 15 to 20k in just 3-4 days. So it's very easy to scale to 100 or 200 or even 7 figures with only TikTok ads. But yeah, we will have another video where I will break down how sustainable this whole thing is with TikTok, and I will give you like the exact roadmap I would follow from now until end of 2025, so you can achieve at least like 7 figures before the year ends. So as you can see, at the 4th February we had like $2,000 revenue, and 1 day later we had $18,000. So now you might notice, how is it possible that we increased by $16,000? And the reason why it's possible is basically the scaling. So when it comes to scaling, my friends, you need to think about it in this way. So what does scaling really mean? If we simplify the whole process of scaling, it only means that we increase our budget for the ad spend, and by spending more, we are making more. This is the whole explanation of what is scaling. And basically, guys, when it comes now to this whole scaling process and how we can scale properly, there is different ways. So as example, for having more budget, you could duplicate the campaign, or you can increase the budget. So there's a ton of different ways how you can scale your ad campaigns, your ad groups, how you can scale it. And something that I always do is, so basically you will see later on the video how I test, and basically I'm testing with ABOs. I will show you the exact setup later, but when you test with ABOs, you get information, because for me, with the structure I test, I don't get as much information about the ad account. So because the whole purpose for me with testing is basically I'm not testing if a product is a winner, because that the product is a winner, I already know it before I test, because I have 4 criteria that are mentioned in the case study, and if this is there, these products are potentially winner. And this is why we don't need to double think or double check everything, because we already know it's winner. We already know that these products are winning products. By simplifying like this 4 criteria, if we see the 4 pillar like on the product, it's definitely winner. So what we are actually doing in the first testing days, we're testing our creatives. So for me, I'm somebody who sees the value of a product very fast. So if I test something and I doesn't see any good rewards, I often skip to the next product. But most of the times, guys, it's literally your creative. So if you have better creatives, every product can win. That's why if you take a look, companies that create like socks and everything, they're going viral now. There are so many clothing brand companies, all of them producing tracksuits, but still everybody gets sold out. They're selling literally the same thing, but still all of them goes viral because the market is big enough. So if something doesn't work, it's often the creative that doesn't lead you to the target audience. So what I mean by this, if your creative is very bad, the performance at all will be very bad. But of course there's more variables that you need to take care. But right now I'm just simplifying everything because I want you to understand the whole purpose of you running ads, and especially of my strategy. So with me running ads in the first day, I run like an ad group, like an ABO campaign, which means like ad group budget optimization. I will explain it later in the ad account how you can set it up, but for now, what we mean by ad groups is we decide how much spend our ad groups get. And after, what I do is I will always put each creative, so let's say I have 5 creatives, then my campaign will have 5 ad groups. And each ad group will have one creative. So what I'm doing is I'm testing the creative. I'm not letting decide between all 5 in one ad group and then the one get $1 spent, the other 5. I decide, okay, I invest in each ad creative and see which is working. And throughout the day, I use a strategy called surf scaling. Surf scaling is a thing where you can adjust the budgets throughout the day. No, it's not possible on Meta. If you're doing it, most likely your ads will die and you will lose a ton of money. So only do it on TikTok, but I will walk you through this process a bit later. And basically when we test with ad groups, we have our ad groups running and we test everything. What will happen with us guys is we test the creatives and now we have information. So as example, we know after day 1, so as you can see, in day 1 I did surf scaling, I was at 2K. But then I saw, okay, in my case, at the testing day I had like 5 ad creatives. So what I saw right now was, with this 5 ad creatives, ad creative 2, 3 and 4 was working very well. So they made almost all the sales, while creative 1 and 5 make 0 sales. And now I only tested ABO, but to make sure I can scale in the best possible way, I want to know how my ad account works the best. So something that I always do, depends on how good the first day was, is that I create CBOs and ABOs. So I will create an ABO where I put every winning creative in. So every creative that's got sales have one ad group. And these ad groups are now in the, like it will be a new ABO, and this ABO will be now at around like $50 per ad group. And with the CBOs will have the same structure. One time I will add only the winning creatives into the CBO, and one time I will just add all creatives, even the ones that doesn't work, because there is something in ad accounts that you need to understand is sometimes ad accounts work better when you have more creatives in an ad group. So this is something I test in the day 2, and then I just surf scale again. And by day 2, because you have so many campaigns running, and just imagine sometimes I even do 2 campaigns, 2 CBOs, 2 ABOs, and sometimes 3, 4, 5, so it really depends on how good day 1 was. And if you like to see like a whole breakdown where I go into the ad account where I did the 50K and I walk you through the whole ad account and show you each section, just let me know in the comments and I will definitely do a video where I will just walk you through the whole ad account, where I will show you like how everything looks like in the ad account instead of just explaining right now. So you can let me know however you like it and we would definitely do this. So just let me know in the comments and I will create it for you. So yeah, and basically this is how I managed to do an 18K. And now the next thing is, after seeing this example, okay, now the ABO with all the winning ads goes viral and works. What I do is now I will duplicate this thing. So I will duplicate the ad groups, so the whole campaign, and I will duplicate the structure. And most of the time, if you have a good product, you will see that the CBOs, everything will work. And when everything works, you can copy everything. So you copy everything like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And this is how you can increase all the time, you know? So this is how I was able like to scale from 2 to 18, 27K. Like the total amount was close to 48,000. The profit margin, as I told you, was like around 14K, which is pretty good for 3 days, to be honest. And now we'll quickly walk you through the problems that most of the beginners have and why they're failing. And it's basically because they run CBOs or ABOs without having a strategy in mind. And what I mean by this is, basically you guys just started running an ABO, but you don't know why you're running the ABO. Or you don't know why you run a CBO. And you don't know how to do this and why. And because of this, it's just like a roulette wheel. You're just hoping for something to happen. But for us, we want proven systems in place that gives us good outcome. So as example for you, if you just test a CBO, how do you know when to kill the ad if you just do something? If you run an ABO, you don't know. And that's why you're literally testing blind. You're testing so blind that you don't even understand what you're testing. You don't know if you test creative, you don't know. So you need to understand, like literally even with interest. So something that I would recommend is, interest is something that is very cool, but not in the beginning. Most of the time if you begin, just use a broad because this is helping you a lot, because you're giving the algorithm the freedom to decide the audience. But for you, you're just going blind. To a lot of people inside of the community, what I teached a lot of times was, if you try to achieve something, let's say I would tell you the task to go outside and find like a certain plant. And now I don't even show you a picture, I don't tell you the name, I don't explain you how you can find it, where it is. So the possibility of you getting it is like 0. And this is the same with testing. The biggest issue that you beginner and all beginner have in e-commerce, lack of knowledge. Because you don't know what you're doing. And even with all these people online teaching you e-com and everything, the biggest issue is that most of the people only teach you how, but not why. And this is why what is way more important than how is why. Because how to set up the campaign, you don't even need the video. you don't need this video. You can just go on the other YouTube video and he will show you the same. Because to set up something is always the same. The issue, what makes the difference and what helps me to, as example, to come to a stage where I can just pick a random product, make 50k in 3 days. And the background for this is basically because I understand how it works. So I know why my product is a winning product and how I can make sure that the next product is still a winner and how I can make sure that my ads are running properly. And this is something you need to try to get. Your goal for now needs to be to learn why and execute. Because learning without execution is also nothing. It's the same as somebody who is practicing like every day inside of his home how to throw a basketball. Every day he goes up, make his form, everything ready. But he never throw the ball. You will never make a point. So the whole process of learning it doesn't have a point. But at the same time, the one who's just doing like this or like this, bro, he cannot be a pro. He can never become a professional because he don't know how to do it. And most of his shots miss. And we don't want to work on luck. We want to combine both. We want practical, so theoretical knowledge, but at the same time we want to execute. And this combination will help us to grow in business. And the last reason why a lot of people wasting a ton of money and losing in ecom is literally most of you guys who are listening to this video or saw it somehow random, your only purpose of looking at it is because you want to learn how you can make money. So you don't have 10 grands. Most of you maybe have $500, 1k, 2k saved. So, and the reason why the ecom journey doesn't work and most of the people say, no, dropshipping is dead, is basically because they start running ads, but they don't know how to analyze the metrics properly. And because they don't know when to kill the ad, so when to turn it off, you lose a lot of budget. And as I told you, there is a lot of different strategies online. And something that you need to know is every strategy works. Nobody's lying to you. Because as Miyamoto Musashi said, there is a lot of ways to the top of the mountain. And this is something you need to keep in mind, because there is dozens of ways that you can do and you can start doing to make sure you're making good money. So the issue is more, you're blindly doing everything. You don't do it with consciousness. You're just trying something. And I hope this little breakdown of like the whole ad structure and everything helped you out. As I told you, if you want to see like one time the ad account with the 50k in 3 days, so I can walk you through the process of how I made this 50k in 3 days, so you can see how many campaigns I added and everything. And I can give you like a whole explanation of, okay, I added this 3 times, I added this 4 times because I saw this and this value during the ad group. If you want something like this, just tell me, hey, I want this, I will create it for you. I would see like maybe if we reach like a certain follower, I would even start like showing the product and everything. So I can even show you the product, and I would definitely make also content about how to build like your whole winning store, like a high converting store. So currently I'm using Shrine Pro. When it comes to content, you can always reach out to me. So in the bio of this video, there's my free Discord. It's completely free, no hidden cost, nothing. You can just join, and there is a channel called YouTube Content. You can just write there as example, hey, can you maybe do a video about creatives? Or can you do a video about what is your opinion to AI creative? No matter what you like, so, or you can do a video, hey, I don't have the money for Shrine. Can you maybe show us how to build like a high converting store with Dawn? Just reach out and I will create this for you. I will help you out with everything, and so you can learn. But yeah, to come to the final point of this video, I will quickly walk you through the process of how to set up an ABO campaign and CBO campaign. So basically this is right now an ad account I created. So basically when you take a look at the ad account here, this is how most of your ad accounts look like. So if you go on the dashboard, it will look like this. So I never use this ad account. So even with the whole payments and nothing is set up. For you as a little tip, and the link in the bio, if you subscribe there, you will get free credit. And this link will always have the best offer. So when you just go normally on TikTok, most of the offer wouldn't be there. So with this link in the bio, they will always provide you the best deal. So let's say they have an offer where they give you like $1,500 back, which will happen 2 times a year. So if you spend $1,500, you get the same back. But yeah, so let's say with the campaign, just click here, and this is your tab. I will make like a little breakdown on the custom tables. I will just upload like a little Loom in the community for free. You can just take a look and copy the custom tables with the most important KPIs. But I will also create like a little video about them and how to read them properly, so none of you is losing money anymore. But yeah, so when it comes now to create, you press on create, and now this window will open. Our goal is to get conversion. So we go on conversion and click on sales. And something that is different than before, so maybe a few of you guys saw the old version of TikTok, so right now we have the TikTok shop here and the whole UI changed a bit. And so what I used is the manual campaign. You turn off the catalog, and now when it comes to the campaign name, just name it like with the date. So let's say you write down date, then ABO, and then you just write something like testing. Because when it comes to scaling, you need to know which campaigns are running good, so you can properly scale them, and you have all the info about the date and everything. So you will see in the future with the content and everything. And I will definitely walk you through this process, because I'm also thinking about making maybe like a fast dropshipping video where I will show you like how much I can make like from scratch again in 7 days, like a little video, or even we could do like a speedrun together. If you would like to see like a speedrun together where I will make a YouTube live stream, I will pick a product, I will build a store, I will launch the ads, so I will edit my creatives, launch the ads, and I will try to get everything done and launch the store. And then we can see like how this store progress. And inside of the community, I will give like updates and everything, and we can do like cool giveaways. So now, if you want to run a CBO, campaign budget optimization, the difference between the campaign budget optimization and the ad group budget optimization for ABO is basically with the campaign budget optimization, we're telling, hey, we are the campaign, we're giving the campaign, we're giving TikTok the prompt, hey TikTok, I have $50 that I can spend for today. Your goal is it to split it inside of the ad groups, like between the different ad groups, and spend the most money inside of the best ad group. This is what is happening. And for the strategy that I'm explaining you what I use, if I want to test creatives, this is an issue for me, because let's say Creative 1 is working very well, and now Creative 1 gets $25 in spend. But Creative 4, which is working very bad compared to the things, because what the algorithm will do, it will compare. And a lot of you which have more experience in ecom, you will know that sometimes if you're CBO, you will have ad groups which just only get $2 spent, $5 spent. But if I would ask you now, hey, is $5 enough to see if a creative is working or not? You would say, no, it's not enough. And this is the exact reason, this is what is missing for all of us. And this is something that, with the strategy of splitting the creatives, the easiest way to make sure really the creative isn't good or not is to literally use the ABO structure, because I can make sure, okay, if I add everything to $25, I know that after like 8 hours, all of them have $5 spent. As an example, the numbers are not real, but just as an example, after 8 hours, all of them have 5. So I can check at $5, okay, how is the metrics? And then from $5, I will start turning off ads that doesn't work. At $7, I make another check, and at $10. And after the first ad group get like 3 sites, I start the self scaling process. So if you want to create a CBO, you just press here. So for us right now, we don't need a CBO, so you just go and continue. And now that we continue, guys, you can just name your ad group. Here would be like your TikTok pixel, so it will always, the name is always like TikTok, pixel, Shopify, something like this. So you just press it. For the conversion, I use always sales. I know a lot of people in the industry are using add to cart and teaching it. I also tried add to cart, but for me personally, sales work better. So if I start the targeting on the conversions instead of add to carts, this worked better for me. When it comes now to the placement, just go and select placement, turn off global and panel, because this will give you a lot of traffic, which are most likely bots. Another thing in the advanced setting is even that we do branded dropshipping. What we mean by this, we will build like a legitimate website, like a real brand. We will work with a supplier with fast shipping times and everything. People will still pray for your downfall. So if you let down comments, people will write in the comments, no, you can get it on AliExpress cheaper. Or they will write something like, oh, be careful, this is dropshipping. Even that you're doing everything right. And you will witness this in your ecom journey. When you're doing everything right with your branded dropshipping style, you will see that how much benefit people have from your content. There will be people which will reach out per email. So if you have a good product, and they will reach out and tell, hey, this product really helped me. But still, if you would run on comments, they would flame it. Because people, it's just something weird. And that's why I would always recommend you guys, just turn them off. So you turn them off. Now if you scroll down, you come with the targeting. So for the country, use the country where you're coming from, or the country where you want to sell. So it's literally, if you want to sell in your home country, you just select your country. If you want to sell in the US, you just select US. For the beginner, I would recommend selling in a smaller market. So let's say you're coming from Germany, Netherlands, France. Test in your own market, because your own market has easily the potential to be scalable to 1 million. And every time if you doubt this, just take a look at the big e-commerce brands in your country and how much money they are making. So for all the people who are from Germany, as an example, you have all the streetwear brands like 6pm, Peso, that are known in UK and US. but they're coming from Germany. So, and the target audience, the biggest audience is in Germany, and they're making millions. So you see how much possibilities even here. So in every place in the world there are buyer, because everybody's consumer. It's not like that only in US supermarkets are big, you know? Every country has supermarkets. Every country has also Coca-Cola. So a few markets wouldn't be good, Coca-Cola wouldn't produce it in every country. But they know every country has its own potential and its own audience. So like a little tip for the beginner, try to select an easier market, you know? Try to work with a market which is not that hard, so avoid the big five. But UK is okay on TikTok, to be honest. And their issue is because it's very competitive. So if your ads aren't that good, you might lose money. So that's why it's easier for you to start in your home country, because you speak the native, you speak the language fluent, and when it comes to building your website, you have native language. So you understand, as example, okay, what makes sense for me in the website. So which urgency text I can write here, so it sounds native and not like ChatGPT prompt. And yeah, now when it comes to the age, you always can select like 18 to 55 plus. Once you have a lot of sales, you have more information about this. So you can try to target more the ages which really make the most sales and lower the cost for the, let's say as example, you have all these categories. And now category 18 until 34 makes 70% of the sales and also got 70% of the spend. And now 30% of the sales come from those and they're making 30%. And you would now think in your head, wait, 20% plus on this gives you more money, or 30% more because you can see that the AOV for younger people, blah, blah, blah. In this case, you need to analyze data properly. But the thing in general is, let's say you have a certain age category, like a certain age group, which is working way better than the other. Try to create slowly also campaigns only for them. So you can target 100% of your budget into them. Now when it comes to like the gender, I would recommend you guys, so if you sell a product which is good for a female, just select female, and if you sell a product which is good for male and female, select male. The reason why is, in this planet Earth, there are a lot of weird guys, and if they see, like, let's say you're selling a clothing piece, and there's a woman having like a leggings or something like this, these people will literally watch your ad, click on it just to take a look at the woman's picture again. So there's a lot of crazy guys in this world. And that's why when it's like a female product, try to avoid males and just go on female. Now when it comes to audiences, something when you save audience, it's not for you now. And also with interest, we keep it everything broad. And now with the budget, as I told you in the case study, you just press on 25. And something that I do, and I know it may sound a little bit weird, I start my ads not at midnight, I start them at 6 a.m. For me personally, 6 a.m. worked always better. Sometimes also 4 a.m. So between the time range of midnight and 6 a.m. you can run your ads, no matter what time. But for me personally, after my experience, 6 a.m. works the best. Now that you have the optimization goals on conversion, you just continue. So yeah, basically normally you have your pixels, so you come on this page. And something that I always do is like use like 2 or 3 copies. So what I do is like use smart creatives. This allows you to have multiple tags, as you can see now. So you just go on upload your creative, add the text. For the call to action, try to use something like shop now or order now, visit store, something like this, and that's it. For the custom page, normally you would have also the link that you need to enter. Because of the pixel I can't show it to you, but yeah, you enter your product page, not your home page, your product page. And always before you set it up, there will be like a button. So if you click on it, you will have your website will open on a new tab. You can validate if it's the real one. You just click on it. If you see everything is fine, you're done. With the ad groups, just click on this one here. And by duplicating, you just duplicate it as example 4 times. Now you have 5 ad groups, and in each ad group you put each creative. And yeah, this is like how you set up your ABO. I hope you got a lot of valuable information inside of this. As you saw, I just tried to give you like most of the value. I didn't want it to script anything and make it too like, I just wanted to go straight to the point, explain you everything firsthand, and I hope you enjoyed it. You can let me know in the comments, so if you would say, yeah, it's easier for you to follow if there is like a certain script or anything, you can let me know. Feel free to write in the comments any feedback, anything that would be better. If you're interested in seeing the ad account like in real example, I can always show you the 50k in 3 days example, because this is something that is, when it comes to case studies, very crazy, because normally if you have like a brand new store, it's not that easy to scale so fast to like 50k. So normally people would say, yeah, it takes time, and that's why it's such a beautiful case study, because it not only motivates you to grow, but it also shows you the possibilities that all of you guys can even make it fast. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed everything. Let me know in the comments if you whatever type of content you want to see. The next thing of content will be I will show you the my high converting store that I always use with the Shrine Pro theme. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the second video. It's more like just spreading value for you guys, so I can upload as much content for you and you can just learn everything, like binge learning. And yeah, let me know if there's any questions. Just write your questions in the comments. If I see there's a question that has a lot of likes, I will make a new video in the next day, in the next 2 or 3 days, and talk about this topic to help you grow. And yeah, see this channel as a source of value where you can get most of the value and develop in the e-com industry. And yeah, see you in the next one.